Hello, and thank you so much for joining me on the Community Ledger. Again, my name is Andrea Banu. Now, tonight I want to do something a little bit different. I'm still going to jump into politics, but politics that are a little bit different than what you're used to. So go ahead, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, and let's hop into the show. Yes, yes. Again, thank you so much for joining me. So tonight I am going to do a little bit something different. Like I said before, you used to me talking about the Democrats and the Republicans and all politics and everything that's happening here in the United States. However, tonight I'm going to delve into something a little bit different that I would like to call hood politics. Okay. And so, in terms of what's going on in our community, I'm going to delve into what is happening in the world of hip hop and all the politics that are a hot topic right now. So anybody who knows me knows that I am a hip hop head. Okay. So it's politics and hip hop and politics. That's all me all day. And so that is what feeds me. However, there is so much going on right now with regards to the beef between Kendrick and Drake, as well as this Big Meech situation. So I had to jump in because I want to talk about it. It is what I love, and I am calling it hood politics. It's still a part of our community and something that I really want to give my 2 cents about. So let's get into it. Okay, and so right now, let's go ahead and dive into this Big Meech and 50 Cent situation. So now, as you know, well, those who don't know, let me just give you a little bit of backstory. Big Meech is a big time drug kingpin. Started out in Detroit, moved to Atlanta, made hundreds of millions, almost like 400 million, if not more, in drug money. So now Meech, Big Meech to be exact, has been in prison for like 30 years. And so while Big Meech was in prison, it seems like 50 Cent, the rapper out of New York, met his son. His son was looking for an opportunity to, get his feet wet, make a name of himself, and he really didn't know what he wanted to do. So 50 Cent decided, you know what, I'm going to help you out. He allowed him to actually paid for him to go to acting school, and then he got the role in BMF. And so BMF, of course, is Black Mafia Family. That is the show on Starz Network. So 50 was behind that show. He actually partnered with Big Meech so that he could get the rights to his story. There you see them hugged up there, and they made somewhat of an alliance so that they could go ahead and do the show. So as you see in that photograph, that is Little Meech, which is Big Meech's son. Again, 50 Cent paid for him to go to acting school and then assisted with him playing the lead role as Big Meech in the series BMF. So, Little Meech is living his life. He's making great money. He's living out his dream. And then it's time for daddy to come home. And what does Big Meech do? He poses with Rick Ross. Now, everybody knows that 50 and Rick Ross are enemies, okay? Huge enemies, okay? They have had bad blood for years. And everybody knows 50's petty. If you got beef with 50, you dead to him. He not messing with you. So why and how? I don't know why, but Big Meech gets out of prison and decides he wants to pose with 50's nemesis, as well as do a concert in Miami with Rick Ross. I'm trying to figure out why, because Big Meech is not a rapper and Rick Ross is 50's nemesis. Now let me just go ahead and sum it up for you. Let me just give you the backstory again. 50 paid for your son to go to acting school. He gave your son an opportunity to be in a show on Starz, make millions of dollars legit. You in prison. You can't sell drugs no more. You can't provide for your family in the manner in which you used to, right? So 50 gave your whole family an opportunity to go legit, and you come out and you pose and do a concert with his ops? Where they do that at? Like, how did that happen? And then just sidebar, why are we celebrating Meech in the first place? I mean, he is a drug dealer, right? He sold drugs throughout all kinds of black communities in Detroit, as Atlanta, and I'm sure many other states. So what exactly are we celebrating? So if we just talking amongst ourselves, what am I missing? Why are we celebrating the coming home of a drug kingpin? Now I get, you watching movies and people be like, when basketball players and football players, they go away, they make money, and it's like, oh my goodness, everybody in the community is so happy. Man, you made it out. You made it out. You got money. Big Meech didn't make it out. He went to prison. He didn't make it out the hood. He went to prison. Okay. He went to prison for selling large amounts of drugs to his own community and then some. What exactly are we celebrating, and why is he throwing a concert? Because he's not a rapper. So for me, just an onlooker, to me, this was just a play from Rick Ross to F with 50. Like, Meech got played. Meech got played. And meanwhile, I think Meech came out thinking he was going to play 50. Like, maybe he wasn't liking the amount of money that he was making. Maybe he felt like, who is 50? I'm Big Meech. I'm coming back. I'm the one. I'm the head in charge. I was trying to figure out how to say that without like offending or getting demonetized, but nonetheless, I'm that man in charge. I don't have to do what 50's talking about. I can pose with whoever I want to pose with. I'm a grown ass man. I do what I want to do. And 50's like, you're right. Do exactly what you want to do. And I'm a grown man and I'm going to do me too. And so I'm not going to put up all the back and forth with the text messages, but I will tell you that Little Meech heard that 50 stopped following him on Instagram and was like, dude, what happened? I heard that you stopped following me on Instagram. I don't understand what's happening. My dad linked up with Rick Ross simply because Rick Ross helped him with some money until, the season starts again. And 50 replied, what season? Like, ain't no season, nigga. Like, like, whoa, okay. I mean, yikes. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, 50 is so petty. He ain't have to do him like that. He's grown. It shouldn't even be that. It's just business. But the truth of the matter is he forced his hand. Just take a look. Just look at the optics. I'm helping you. I'm helping your family. I'm helping your son. I'm helping you go legal. You come out, you play me. What am I supposed to do with that? I don't have no choice. I don't have no choice but to separate myself. One, because I'm grown just like you. I have a reputation just like you. I'm not about to let you play me. That's one. Two, I'm the one making money. You need me. I don't need you. So what is it of a benefit to me to keep this going? And three, he 50. that's just how 50 moves, right? And so I don't feel the way about it. I feel bad for the kid. I feel bad for Little Meech because I feel like he's caught up in the melee and he's, it's negatively impacting his career because truth be told, like, who is going to really hire him after all this? Like he was on BMF. That was his first gig. What are his acting chops now? Like, you know what I'm saying? But like they say, in every war, there will be casualties. It's unfortunate, but so now Little Meech ain't making no money. Big Meech ain't making no money. They can't go back to what they used to because Big Meech is hot. So it's a bad look. And Rick Ross is somewhere laughing, which is crazy because Rick Ross is not about to fund Big Meech's or Little Meech's new life. So I don't know what they was thinking. I don't know what Big Meech was thinking when he moved like he moved against 50, because if anybody knows anything, you don't cross 50. And yeah, especially when somebody like really trying to help you and help your people, like it's crazy. But nonetheless, outside of all that, I do think that as a community, in regards to all these hood politics that I'm talking about today, we shouldn't be celebrating Big Meech no way. We should not be celebrating someone who just spent 30 years in prison for selling poison to his community. Like that's nothing to celebrate. You need to assist this man in going legit, help him atone for all his sins, and then keep it moving. We don't need no celebration. We don't need no concert. We should not be celebrating that. That period. period. Okay, and then the next story I'm gonna get into, of course, are the hood politics behind this Drake and Kendrick situation. So, as you know, Drake just released an album. I haven't heard the album. I'm not necessarily a fan of Drake. I'm a Kendrick girl, but nonetheless, I wanted to see, what people were saying. It ain't good. It's not good at all. I'm going to read you what the Hollywood Reporter said. It said, album review, Drake serves up Valentine's Day slop on some sexy songs for you, bloated with bravado and full of forgettable tracks. Champagne Poppy's latest is a dud. Wow. I didn't expect that. I mean, they are going in on him. And I'm not talking about people on Twitter, people on X. I'm talking about like mainstream media is like, this album is trash. It would be amazing to see Drake rebound with a banger of an album after getting ethered for a year straight by an obviously better rapper, Kendrick Lamar. Too bad that's not what happened. Or let me read this right. Too bad that's not what has happened with the artist's latest offering, Some Sexy Songs for You. Drizzy's new Valentine's Day record recast the Toronto rapper as a lover, not a fighter, notably on a track titled Give Me a Hug. He did not. He did not title a track Give Me a Hug. Okay. He declares the feud with Lamar over, even though that's not really how these things work. Party Next Door, Oval, Stalworth, and generally unremarkable plays second fiddle on this long, bloated 21 song snoozer. In Drake's world, it's quantity over quality. You don't have to make great music, you just have to make a lot of music. It makes you wonder what was left on the cutting room floor, if there was any editing whatsoever. The intention seems to have been to make a record to sleep with someone to. In practice, it's more like a record to put you to sleep. These aren't really any highlights and not too many lowlights either. The album is just consistently beige, like so much of Drake's output and aura. Ooh. Ooh. They said he is consistently beige. I mean, ooh. Okay. This isn't the first time Drake has had to cover or has had to come back from a rap battle shellacking. Pusha T notably revealed his secret child on the story of Addison or Adidon, and he's locked horns with dozens of other rappers over the past decade, from Joe Budden to Rick Ross to Diddy. His CV of beef is who's who of mostly middle-aged MCs. Every has been humbled. Every time Drake has been humbled, he pivots back to his safe space, the I'm just a soft lover boy, not a gangster persona, to project that he doesn't take these things personally. And maybe he doesn't. Maybe it's all facade. But to what end, other than racking up more Spotify stats? At times, his penchant for getting publicly humiliated verges on kink. There isn't much rapping to speak of on the new album. It's mostly R&B, crooning, and warbling, set to very low BPMs and with little variety. Moreover, every single track is dripping with auto-tune. It's 2025. Are we still pretending this is a stylistic choice and not merely a means of covering up an aesthetically flawed voice? Even the beats, sometimes the stronger aspect of Drug's overture, feel like they were programmed by AI. Ooh, it just keeps getting worse. Like, So yeah. So I'm gonna go over to Twitter because X, because I looked it up a little bit earlier just so that I could see exactly what was happening with what the fans were saying. Because I'm like, okay, that's the reporter. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe, these are some, executives who really don't know what they're talking about in rap. And maybe, there's some people out here that are like, no, this is dope. So let me get in here. Side in here. It's crazy. It's really crazy. It truly is. Oh my God, I can't even get in X. Lord have mercy. But nonetheless, I don't even care what it is. Okay, so nonetheless, the album is whack. The moral of the story is the album is whack. And Kendrick wins again. Okay, Kendrick won at the Grammys. Look at all these Grammys. Look at all these Grammys. Look, 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 look. Hands full with Not Like Us. At the Super Bowl, even though I was actually not a fan of the Super Bowl show, I have seen Kendrick perform on many times, and he does incredible work in terms of the artistry, his music. This particular performance was not his best, in my opinion. However, I'm still a fan. I still love him. I still love his work. I'm still gonna buy all his stuff. And you know, Drake, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what you should do. Drake is you know, it's given retirement. Like it's given you should just take a break. Like you should just take a break. Like you trying. You're really trying and it's not working. And I'm gonna tell you why. Nobody else is saying this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Drake is not a real artist. Drake is manufactured. Drake has a team of people around him, dressing him, styling him, writing for him, and telling him exactly how to rhyme. You're not like us. I mean, nobody's saying it. So, I mean, like, dude, like, Kendrick is a real artist. Kendrick writes his rhyme. Kendrick not trying to do all this extra and he is not, that's not who he is. Drake is not going to be competitive against a DMX, a Rakim, a CeeLo Green, a Black Thought. It's not happening. It's not happening. And we all know that. Most Def, Talib Kweli, Common. It's not happening. So why are we sitting here pretending like Drake is a real artist? Drake is a manufactured pop star. Period. Okay? And so it's not a coincidence that a real hip hop artist comes out and ethers your ass. Like, period. And so at this point, you just need to take that L, take your money, and take a break. I said it. I said it, and I'm sorry to the people who are Drake fans. Like I said, there are some tracks that are cool that I can groove to, but when it comes to this real life hip hop game, Drake ain't it. Drake ain't it. And so, should we be surprised that his last album was a flop? No. No, because he's up against a real artist. Like, I mean, Nas is still making tracks, and I've bought King's Disease 1, 2, and 3. Like, popping. Like Kendrick stay popping. Like, these are real artists. So it's like, Drake, like, you're a pop star. You're like, I would say Taylor Swift, but even Taylor Swift writes her own stuff. Ooh. So just take a break. Just take a break and like maybe like lean into your melanin, maybe, and see if you can like pull some extra oomph out, cause it ain't working. It ain't working. You getting like dragged by real ones like Pusha T, Kendrick. You know, it's just it's obvious that you just not like us. It's just obvious you're just not like us, and I wish you would just admit that. Maybe if you would just admit that and be like, listen, I take that L. You wear the crown. You know, I've made my money. I've enjoyed myself, but I'm not going to pretend that I'm somebody I'm not. I'm just here doing it. Hopefully y'all can feel good. Some y'all can groove to, but I'm not that dude. I'm not a gangster. I'm not a thug. I'm not like y'all. I'm not real with it. Okay. And then you get a lot more respect. You get a lot more respect, and I think you'd have a little bit more longevity in this game because people can just respect the realness and the honesty. And you know what Kendrick just did to you last summer is awful. Okay, is bad. So I think, like I said, you shouldn't be making more music. You should just be chilling. Just chill for a little bit. It's okay. Everybody, it happens. You know what I'm saying? It happens. Like Jay-Z had to recover from Nas's ether. Like, it happens. Like, it happens. You just need to take a break and just, gain some insight and live a little bit and maybe just invest in something else. I think it's time. Honestly, I just think it's time. I think it's time for the manufactured hip hop artists to be done and real hip hop come to light, exactly in the same way that real R&B artists need to be highlighted. I do think that we need to be back in leading position with regards to our music, our artistry, our creativity, so that we can get the rhythm, the cadence, the groove, the love, the excellence back into the music, which we have been missing for so long. And so, again, even though this is not what I usually speak about, this was my version of hood politics so that I could speak on hip hop and all the things that I think are important in our community. And what do we learn today? That there is no future in selling drugs. Okay, so don't be like Big Meech and be hood famous, hood rich, go to prison for 30 years and come out and don't have nothing. What's it worth? What was it worth? What was it worth? You had a good time, you had a good run, but now that you're in your old age, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. We need to be doing more, okay? Do more, create businesses, create hustles, go to school, become a doctor, lawyer, invest. We need a new Twitter. We need a new Instagram. We need to own some stuff. Drugs ain't it. It ain't it. It's not it. We've been playing that for a long time and it's played, okay? It's played, okay? It's like CeeLo said, that in and out of shit or in and out of jail shit is getting old. Yeah. Yeah. So we should not be celebrating it. We should not be celebrating it. And with regards to the Kendrick Lamar and Drake situation, don't be trying to fake it till you make it. Like Drake, it's just, you're not like us. You're just not like us. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just be real. Just be real. Just be authentically you and do what works for you. Walk in your purpose. Don't try to be like something you're not. The very first time I saw Drake perform live on television, he had on a sweater vest. And I was like, who? This is the Drake that everybody's talking about? What, huh? I was so confused because it didn't make sense. And now we're seeing the aftermath of all of that styling and all of that hair corn rolling and extras and big booty girl dating he's done over the years just to appeal to a certain demographic. It's not hitting like it used to. Okay. And when a real one come up to you and spit some truth on you, yeah. So that is my advice to all of my listeners. Stay away from drugs and keep it a buck. Okay. So if you enjoyed the commentary that I gave tonight on hood politics and you do want to continue to hear me talk about everything that's happening in Washington, D.C. and in Congress so that we know exactly what is happening in this country with these laws and with this legislation so that we can stay ahead of the game and continue to shine and grind and progress, continue to tune in, please, and continue to just show me love by subscribing. I love you. I appreciate it. And again, this is the Community Ledger. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe and watch the next video by clicking right here.